Okay, sir. What's going on?
What up? What up? What it do, man?
Another edition of the homie call. You know,
Yes,
we recorded. Obviously, there's a video that's streaming right now. But after we were done recording, you had something else on your mind that you wanted to
yeah,
speak about. So the
yeah. I thought
platform is
about it
yours.
the same night as
Invite?
it was the same night of Super Bowl, right?
Yes. It was
It
the
was
night
the
of
same
the
night.
Bowl when my Niners lost.
Yeah. So, but aside from that, we had some
Oh,
political stuff that went down. Not Donald Trump, but
right.
um, but Joaquin Phoenix, he won Best Actor, right, for the British American Film Theater
Correct.
Awards.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and he had a very interesting speech.
The BAFTA goes to Joaquin Phoenix for Joker.
I feel very honored and privileged to be here tonight. BAFTAs have always been very supportive of my career, and I'm deeply appreciative. But I have to say that I also feel conflicted because so many of my fellow actors that are deserving don't have that same privilege. I think that we send a very clear message to people of color that you're not welcome here. I think that's the message that we're sending to people that have contributed so much to our medium and our industry and in ways that we benefit from. I don't think anybody wants a handout or preferential treatment, although that's what we give ourselves every year. I think that people just want to be acknowledged and appreciated and respected for their work. This is not a self-righteous condemnation because I'm ashamed to say that I'm part of the problem. I have not done everything in my power to ensure that the sets I work on are inclusive, but I think that it's more than just having sets that are multicultural. I think that we have to really do the hard work to truly understand systemic racism. I think that it is the obligation of the people that have created and perpetuate and benefit from a system of oppression to be the ones that dismantle it. So that's on us. Thank you.
To me, it only would have been more perfect if he would have had a hard chuckle like the Joker would, like have a bomb, and then just set the shit on fire. Like that would have been the perfect send-off because he really went deep into his bag, talking about how basically black people were not. He kind of went Kanye with Mike Myers, saying the Warriors people don't give a fuck about black people, and he hasn't done anything to change that society. And we're definitely in 2020 when the change culture has been prevalent for about 5 years, such with gay rights and trying to have inclusion and PR stuff, PC stuff. And he basically had this year's checkup on the social climate with black people in acting, because we've had people before in the Oscars who have had speeches about the non-inclusion of black people, or you give you one token black person and then we go on about it another day. So I mean, he took the award because he was honored with it. He doesn't, as he said, everybody goes for the handout, every year for the awards, but it's a disservice to him because there are so many other people who deserve it just as much as him and don't get that fair shake. And it kind of sounded like the NFL Rooney Rule a little bit too, where it's like there's so many other black people or people of minority status who are qualified for it, but they won't get a fair shake. Hollywood doesn't create some kind of Rooney Rule like that where they must include it because it's a disservice. Like, you pick who you want to pick. That's how I feel about it. Pick who you want to pick, but, you know, try to be mindful of who you're picking and things that's going on.
I mean, I agree. I don't want to be a movement where you just gotta pick somebody just because they're black or another color or anything like that. I think it should be just deserving of the, you know, best actor, best actress, whatever the award is. I think it should just be who is deserving of said award. And like you said, you know, we've been here before. They had the Oscars where it was a hashtag Oscars so white.
Yeah.
I believe Jada Pinkett Smith and Chad Will boycotted because he did the movie. He did I forgot what movie it was, and everyone just felt that he should have been at least nominated or what have you.
Right.
And because he wasn't nominated, I guess they said, well, we're boycotting it, and it wasn't enough nominees for this, it wasn't enough women with color, you know, so on and so forth.
Right.
I mean, the one thing that Hollywood has done is they've done a lot of crossing over of characters becoming, you know, they try to do the Little Mermaid.
Right.
They did
to as much backlash as it was saying that's not my mermaid.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, I don't mind if it's a fictional character. You know, it's like if you're gonna have, you know, Black Panther, the backstory is of African descent from Wakanda. You can't have, you know, Tom Cruise,
a white guy from Jersey.
You know what I mean? So when the character's backstory is of a specific gender, race, what have you, that needs to be that way. What happens now in Hollywood is a lot of time they're not, and I was thinking about the movies, so I'll go back into the awards after, but for the movies themselves, they don't really look towards who's missing the inclusion. They look at the market and who can we sell to, you know, because a lot of times they cater to the Chinese market, which I think is the second biggest market to America. So
especially when you bootleg and shit.
Yeah, but they focus more on making sure there's an Asian character in there for the inclusion and making sure certain things don't offend them. You know, so they focus more on that than anything. Now, when it comes to the awards, half the time I don't even watch the best pictures, you know, those movies never really appealed to me anyway. So part of the problem is what the judges are watching.
Yeah.
So a lot of movies that may appeal to us, they're not even given a look at in the first place.
Right.
But there are those guys that do make broader movies, the Will Smiths, the Denzel Washingtons, Chadwick Boseman's.
It's the same 5 Black people.
You kind of do. And ironically, I forget his name, but the dude from Get Out, the guy who was the star of Get Out.
Okay.
And he was
Daniel Kaluuya. Yeah, something like that.
He said something somewhere that he's tired of speaking about race.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the article, and I really wasn't thinking about it, but it just came up now. But he himself said he's tired of speaking about race. So I do want to know what that was in context to what he was saying that statement to. Because he's, and that's another thing. He's not even like African American or what have you. He's like British, like African British, and a lot of British people have a lot of roles and a lot of what we see on TV. So you know, all that being said, what Joaquin Phoenix said is right. I think what happens now, like I said, a lot of movies are just made, and it kind of goes back to the conversation me, you, and Rel had shout out to Rel, about the black quarterback thing. They was like, oh, black people not smart enough to handle the position.
Right.
And they feel like a movie with, black actors or actresses or Asians, Hispanics, and so on is not going to bring in a big budget. And that's part of the reason why they don't cast, because it's like, oh, if you say starring, Idris Elba,
yeah,
drop you down a couple tiers in who's going to see the movie. And that's a problem, because it's like, well, someone's not going to go see the movie because it's starring him, but then you put it starring, Tom Cruise or, a Joaquin Phoenix. Now, like, okay, now we can get a big budget. And even Joaquin specifically, the Joker, like I said with Big John, the Joker was pretty much a remake of Taxi Driver.
Yes.
With the comic book villain skin laid over it.
Right.
To also boost the money up. So a lot of things that are being done now is, well, what's gonna sell.
Mm-hmm.
So the movies themselves are being made by what's gonna sell. And then as far as so that's why I say, going back to the awards, if we're not in the types of movies that they say are the best pictures anyway, and in most cases the movies that we are in that are nominated for those are the 12 Years a Slaves and the Harriets and the, Yes, a Ball Summer, that's the movies they put us in, and then you did a great job of playing that slave, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something Robert Townsend been talking about since Hollywood Shuffle.
Yep.
We could be the slave, we could be the pimp, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. So I'm glad that Joaquin Phoenix spoke up about it. He was talking specifically about the BAFTAs, but like you said, it's the Oscars. It could be the Golden Globes.
Yeah, it all feeds into each other.
And until those top movies that were in, and don't get me wrong, people thought that Black Panther should have been worth a Best Picture nomination, or whatever. I don't think it was the best movie that year myself.
Right.
So that's why I don't want to just put something in just because it's all black. So
it's a token movie at that point.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I forgot what else came out that year, but I remember I think we had that conversation. Somebody had that conversation with, and I was like, I don't want to just say that's the best picture because it's like an all black cast with a black director. And I don't want to just say it is because of that.
We did have two white people. We had Andy Serkis and the Asian guy.
And then since then, you know what I'm saying, Disney, Marvel, for example, they did Black Panther during Black History Month. Then the following year, Captain Marvel was, leading a female, and they did it during Women's History Month or Women's, whatever that month was, on Women's International Women's Day. So they pick and choose when they're going to do it. So it's strategy.
Yes.
And until it's beyond just a strategy, we're going to have another actor say the same thing. It's going to be Joaquin one year, it'll be somebody else another year.
Charlie Theron another.
You know what I mean? Because the people that are making the movies are like, yeah, no doubt. But that's not, they're looking at profit-wise. And that's why we generally get those epic movies like the, those Egypt movies and it's starring white people.
Right. And that's because before us.
Because they look at it like, well, how can we sell this movie? And I'm not saying it's a good thing or it's a bad thing. I'm saying that their mindset is the dollar at the end of the day, truthfully.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, well, if we put starring, what's the dude, Chiwetel Okafor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They like, one, people can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
Two, he has
the guy who played Baron Mordo there, that guy.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, people that, right, it's like, but it's like, can we sell the movie with him as the star? Can we push that or Chadwick Boseman again because he played everybody black.
Good Marshall, MLK area.
You know what I mean? So can they're looking at it like, can we sell the movie? And I mean, now after Black Panther, his name is a little more known now, but they're looking at it like because obviously certain movies gonna get our dollars, and then certain movies gonna get lots more dollars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it's about who and it's sad because really it comes down to who is casting for what. Because we only get casted but for certain roles.
Right.
And then, you know, it's like, well, who do we try to appeal this to, because Hollywood is owned by, you know, powers above us. So it's like, who are we going to argue to about saying, I think that role should have went to so and so and not that guy? And like I said, before us, you know, the whole black exploitation stuff, you know, that was, you know, because I remember going to a video you showed me, you sent to me, you know, Hollywood has only been owned by, you know, a certain subgroup, and it was their narrative that they wanted to push to us, you know, saying this is how we are. This is what we're doing. This is what we're going to be. So we have to only, you know, have you only in but certain roles. And then now they're trying to do more, but however, it's like for every inch you give, you take like 5 feet back. So, you know, it's like a James Harden step back. You know? So, it's hopefully, you know, a movie like, and it has good hype. I mean, I don't know if it has good hype. At least it has good TV spots. But the Photograph with Lakeith Stanfield, and I finally remember his name. But with him and Issa Rae, like that actually looks like, you know, a really solid movie for like Valentine's Day, or even just a black, you know, love movie. You know, instead of the, you know, the hood love kind of stuff, you know,
right?
Or the girls trip, you know, or whatever, you know, where it's like we can only have black comedies, and you know, we can have black people who have comedies or comic stuff that have serious roles. And that looks like a pretty cool movie.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of the topic too, I don't know if you heard when David Schwimmer,
yes,
he made that comment about, you know what would be great
and
if they did a
black
spin-off of Friends or something, huh?
And Erica Alexander tore him a new one. Maybe you don't remember because it came out before y'all. But Living Single was and honestly, Living Single was the truth. I mean, that's one thing I would never deny. The 90s sitcoms cannot touch. I mean, I don't even know what sitcoms are nowadays, but the 90s sitcoms were real life shit. Even the 80s, like the Cosbys and Good Times. So that's 70s going to the 90s. We had a real solid 2 decades.
Yeah.
A strong depiction of, you know, of life.
Yeah.
Family Matters, Living Single, you know, Martin, like they had real life stuff. And that shit is just all forgotten. Like all you hear now about, you don't even hear nothing really about Martin, unless you're like in like a real black circle. Like,
right.
All you hear about is Friends or Seinfeld, and like Living Single was the truth to a lot of us, man. And I mean, people in the last
somebody like David Schwimmer, I don't know if we could fault him for being unaware.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He said, "Oh yeah, I knew about it. I was just saying it should happen again."
Right. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, he may not have known, and I guess that's what a lot of people call the white privilege, or you know what I mean? It's like because he didn't know he was actually, you know, reaping the benefits of something that was tested a year prior. They was like, okay, but if we flip it and put it, you know, and again, if we cast all white, like all black on Fox is this, but if we do it all white on NBC,
I know.
What I mean? So
and it sucks because it's like we have to have, and it's kind of like Hollywood, similar to real life. It's like we have to be sponsored by a white person for or some shit. Like if it's our idea, nah, it's all right. But let a white guy say, "No, you actually good at." You know that is an excellent idea,
right?
Like,
and that's what I was saying too. That's why I was surprised when Joaquin Phoenix's speech was going viral, because I'm like, well, that's been said for years.
Yes.
It's like, we've been saying that. Like, black, white people, like Hispanics in movies, Asians, they finally had the Crazy Rich Asian movie took off, but they kept trying to make that same movie 5 different times. And it's like, well, they can do more, you know? So it doesn't have to be black, but they can be Asian, it can be Hispanic. Like, there's a lot of people in this world and we don't have to keep making the same movie every time just because it worked. Let's do that again. No, maybe it wasn't the movie that was what worked. It was people seeing themselves on the big screen.
Right.
I want to go see me, somebody representing me. I can relate to that story. Like, that's what worked, not just this one and only genre, premise, theme, and topic.
Right.
You know, show me going through the same stuff. You know, whether it's a crime drama, a love story, or, you know what I'm saying, like you said, the Photograph, like, yes, Black love, like, you know, shout out to Remy and Papoose, you know, they've been promoting that. But we used to rom-coms and things like that, but now we can get, yes, that's a story. It looks like it's going to have some emotional feels to it. It's not typical Tyler Perry, the dark-skinned dude cheated and the light-skinned dude going to save him, or, you know what I'm saying, it's them and, you know, whatever they're going to go through in their first date, and building a love, and she's scared, and what do we go for? You know what I'm saying? Cool. Show me that. You know what I'm saying? We can do that. And that's what we need more of.
Exactly. We need more of. You know, we need more avenues. You know, we can't just be on the same street. You know, we gotta basically, you know, we gotta gentrify the, you know, the block, you know.
Right.
You know, we gotta gentrify it, you know, we got stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the world is so much bigger. You know, we're tired of seeing them.
Yeah.
They can get it too, like you said, even the Black Panther.
I'm cool with seeing them. I don't know why I'm seeing them, but I want to see them too.
Right, because we all live. I walk past every day like I see you. I know you, okay?
Right.
You live in New York with the melting pot. You see everybody.
Yeah.
Show everybody. Represent everybody. That's all.
What you call it? I remember you said us about Daniel saying, you know, he's tired of talking about race. It's funny you say that because the actress he worked with in Queen of Slim, came out in November, Jodie Turner-Smith, she said something like that also. And mainly, she said something, I got to find an article about it, but she said something about it also, mainly because it's either her boyfriend or her husband is white. So it's like, you're not going to take up the side of that because you know what you got at home. So we can't expect Pat Mahomes to take up the side for us because, you know, his girlfriend is white. So, you know, like, you know, you're not going to go against who you were, you know, who you were in bed with. So it's funny you said that because I remember seeing that the article about her saying that and seeing that she's with somebody, you know, of another origin. So I was like, yeah.
I didn't even know that. That's interesting. And again, I don't knock that. You love who you love.
Exactly.
If as long as it's not fetishized, like we said in that article on you know what I'm saying? We're not going to go to that right now. Maybe later, maybe we can get some people to talk about that. But if it's not just the token, like, hey, now that I'm rich, I got to get me one of those, or now that, you know, or I heard they got, so I'm going to get me one of these. As long as I love you, I don't knock it. Like, love who you love, cool. But, yeah, like, but to not talk about it, but now you see where you cornered yourself into a box now because you're going through some kind of movies, but then you're on the red carpet, or get the side eye, like, wait, like, you know what I mean? So
one thing is right. It's one thing to not. It's one thing. It's one thing to say I'm not going to talk about it, you know, for whatever reason. It's one thing to talk about it because you're blatantly just telling yourself, I'm not going to talk about it because of who I'm with, you know, like then you're being really dishonest to yourself and to your own people. Yeah. Not saying and not all black people for black people. We got that. Right. We've seen that recently. We ain't gonna talk about that one, but we've seen that recently on CBS. Or a particular person who knows a particular person who talked about a particular person's case.
You know who?
Yeah, we not. I'm talking about she gonna remain nameless with her messed up wig. We talk about her with her messed up wig. We ain't talking about her. But like I said, not all black people for black people. We got that, you know. But you know, because we're gonna be here for another hour talking about that. But you know, so we got that part. But like I said, I mean, it's one thing to not even acknowledge it because if you're with that person should understand completely what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
It should support you in your message.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't shun yourself out because you're worried about your press and it's your first movie or whatever the case may be. You shouldn't have to worry about that. And that's why I'm glad about, Joaquin Phoenix or whoever big says that, because it's like, I'm big enough to do that.
Mm-hmm.
If it's some person like, I don't know, I guess like a Steve Carell type person.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you can fade you to the abyss. Nobody's going to notice it different. But Joaquin Phoenix is a huge name.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt is a huge name. Like you need to have like those top dogs, advocating more and mean it. Not just to say it as a phrase, but not just on a trend, because that's what happens. Everybody starts a trend.
Mm-hmm.
It dies down. Especially he said it during Black History Month, but that doesn't mean shit in the UK because they don't have that like we do. But
right.
But at least for the Americans, the hundreds of millions of Americans who watch it, it's like, okay, you said that during Black History Month.
Mm-hmm.
What you did. So it's
you saw it went viral.
Yep.
You sent to me. You want to talk about it, but what do you think is going to happen next?
We're going to get another heat check next year. I don't know from who. Because I don't think it's going to change anything different.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what movies come out this year, and I don't know who is billed for what. Like so far, in terms of the black category, you have Bad Boys 3.
Mm-hmm.
You have, I guess, The Photograph is next.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know what else is going to come out after that.
Right. So you might get nominated.
Right. It depends on for what. It depends on.
Or Issa Rae. They might get nominated.
But
and like you said, that could be like the Rooney Rule. We nominated them. Leave us alone.
Exactly. And then there's a cop out.
Right. And again, like you said, we don't know. We still got a lot. We still got 10 more months to go. We don't know what else is coming out.
Right.
And but it's like, if they just nominate them just because, it's like, But the whole system, to me, I don't even stress those award shows a lot of times, because a lot of it is back end money, negotiation.
Mm-hmm.
Some movies come out right before they start voting, so it's fresh in their mind. So it's like, and like I said, a lot of the movies that they do put for like the best pictures and stuff, I don't even watch them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the whole process of, the production company has to send in the movie to nominate the person, and they gotta say this is our best actor candidate, and and then it's like I said, behind the scenes negotiating and money involved. So it's like, dude, like it's not even saying who and same conversation like I said with you about the NBA All-Star Weekend. It's like, dude, popularity contest, friends, and like,
yep.
None of that means anything. We'll create our own award show. We'll do the WMDs.
Right. And we do. And that's the thing about it. We do. We have the Image Awards, I don't know if anybody watches that anymore.
On this platform, we're gonna have
okay,
I'll get some people to vote. Everybody can vote, everybody can represent, and we'll see what do polls on social media.
Yeah.
Let me give all this away, but I don't care, because somebody can do it. I don't care who do it. We all can have our own point of view, our own perspective, our own opinion. So same way like me and Big John do our hands of time, do our year review. We can do something. We can give out some awards too, or something like that.
Yep.
Just because, like I said, Oscars, Grammys, BAFTAs, Golden
VMAs, whoever, Image Awards.
Yeah, I mean the only awards that are real kind of is like the Billboard Music Awards, because they go by the numbers.
The actual numbers, yeah.
You can't change. I mean, but even now with the streaming numbers is
you can change. You can inflate that.
Yeah, because now they're saying people got streaming farms where they just got a bunch of computers set up to stream. And, you got people like Justin Bieber saying, hey, put my song on, don't mute it, put the volume down, and just let it replay. And like, what?
Yeah.
Like, so none of that means anything. We'll see what happens with it. Like I said, the video went viral for the night. Yeah. I haven't really seen many people talking about it since. We're talking about it now, so let's see what happens with this. So everybody watching, comment, let us know what y'all think. But we, like I said, we don't have to control, because the voters is a bunch of old people that don't watch, like you said, Bad Boy. They might not even watch Bad Boy. That might even, and I don't think that would be a Best Picture contender.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but again, movies like, yo, I love that movie. That movie's great. But it's like, yeah, but they're not watching that.
Right.
You know, there's a few like that. But what else you got on your mind? Is that it?
Yeah, because we ain't going to talk about Gayle King. So.
Well, maybe next week we'll do that.
yeah, I think that's for another time.
Yeah. All right, so I'll holler at you.
All right, brother.
All right, later.